Dear friends, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. This week we read the double portion of Parsha-Acharei-Kedoshim. In Parsha-Acharei, it talks about the most important moment of the Jewish year, Yom Kippur, where the service was done by the most important Jew, the holiest Jew, the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, in the holiest place, the temple, and in there the Holy of Holies. And the Torah portion begins by telling us that even the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, the highest position in the Jewish world, can enter the Holy of Holies only once a year on Yom Kippur, several times for the various services. In that room, all there was the ark, covered by the kaporas, with the angelic carvings on top of it, faces of a child with wings. And the Torah portion begins that after the two sons of Aaron passed away, because they went into that room without permission, this is when God gave the command of how you're allowed to go into that room with permission. And the commentators, led by Rashi, asked the question, why does the Torah have to begin talking about what happened to Aaron's two sons? Why doesn't the Torah just tell us the law like it tells us all other laws, without giving us necessarily any history or any background of what could happen or what actually happened to someone who didn't listen to the law? And we are told, because this is such an integral part of Jewish life for 1,300 years, that we had the temple in some form, and God willing, when Mashiach will come, the Torah wants the law to be so clear, and the way to drill it in the best way is by connecting it to an actual event that happened and the consequence of that event. And reading it, it made me think, this week many people celebrating around the world 75 years of the establishment of Israel. And I want to bring you back a little. That this establishment of Israel, agreed by the UN, voted by the UN, the same body that wants to try to take Israel apart today, is really ours, not thanks to the UN, but thanks to God, who, when he created the world, and then when Abraham chose to follow him, he promised us this land. There's a tremendous amount of history. Our history is bound with the land of Israel, the Holy Land. And even when we were not there, we were bound in the same way. It's an integral part of our prayers that we say daily 3 times. When we say the grace after meals, and so many other moments, and every time a Jewish couple gets married, when the glass is broken, it's all centered around Israel, the Holy Land. And David Ben-Gurion, talking to one of the international bodies, I believe it was the League of Nations, before the establishment of Israel, 1948, as a state. And he came to speak, to argue his point of why they should vote to make a Jewish homeland. And he talked about the Mayflower. Everyone in America knows about the Mayflower, the ship that brought many pilgrims over. But how many people could tell you what year it was, which port it came to, the date it arrived? But yet look at the Jewish people. When we look at our history, we know the names of every major player in our history. We know the date that we left Egypt. We know when we came into the Holy Land of Israel. We know the dates of major events in the life of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, etc., etc., etc. Because history is woven into our DNA. We are rich with a tremendous history, which has always been the strength and given us the hope to build a more incredible future. So we are not 75 years old. We are thousands of years old. And the world doesn't have to get used to a 75-year-old. It has to get used to realizing that Israel has had more Jewish people step on its ground, live their full lives there, sacrifice themselves to be Jews for so many years. So when we look at our life today and all the blessings we have to connect it with our history to realize what we're fighting for is not just a piece of land. What we're fighting for is our history, is our inheritance, is the place where Judaism has shown stronger than anywhere else in the world for so many years, is the place through which the world has received so much goodness, kindness, direction, and guidance. And this is what we fight for every day, to live as a Jew wherever we are in the world. And in hopes and prayers that very quickly Mashiach will come and restore the Jewish kingdom, where the world will recognize and feel totally accepting and excited to follow, as it did in the past, the guidance and the moral path being laid out by the Jewish people through the Torah. So I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. God bless you all. And let's stand strong together, the greatest blessing for strength in Israel and Jews all over the world. And God bless you. Shabbat candlelighting time in Montreal, 7:39 p.m.